Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a review of the Cerapad KIN. I apologize in advance if you can hear like jackhammers in the background, but yeah, that's kind of just life. And getting into the review, the Cerapad KIN is a ceramic-coated glass mousepad. I'm sure a decent amount of people remember the original Cerapad review a few months ago. I really was not a fan, but the KIN is an improved version. This is their newest size, which I think is the biggest hard pad I have ever seen. It's 605 by 405 meters, so it's really an extended hard surface. It's 140 for this size, and I wouldn't say it's really necessary. The 505 by 405 size is more than enough, and that's like 120. But getting into the performance of the pad itself, it is vastly improved from the original Cerapad. One of the main complaints I had with the Cerapad was that it was just too sticky. If you rested like your forearm and wrist on the pad, the oils would just show up on the pad and it would look very dirty. And in my opinion, it just wasn't super consistent, and it almost required a sleeve. And the Cerapad KIN is basically none of that. Whatever they changed with this coating makes the pad a lot smoother on the skin, not as sticky. There's no issues with the pad really getting dirty. I don't even have to wipe it down much. It's like a weekly basis as opposed to a daily basis. And there is not the issue that I have hated most with hard pads, where a single speck of dust or hair can completely ruin the glide of your mouse. So this has just been an all-around really good experience for a hard pad. But that's just quality of life stuff, which I think is one of the ways that the Cerapad KIN kind of separates itself from the original Cerapad. Next up is the actual performance of the mouse pad, and it's going to vary based on what skates you use. The design I would recommend is these two bigger Zowie style skates, and the pad will be extremely smooth, at least in my experience. Using something like the Death Adder V3 Pro, you can see how thin the stock skates are. I'm sure they've worn down a bit since I've been using them on the Cerapad, and I'm not sure if you can hear, but the glide is just very loud. I mean, it's just kind of loud no matter what, but it does feel slightly more scratchy when there is less surface area contacting the pad. So that's what I would recommend. Something like the Pulsar X2 feels pretty solid as well. Basically, you're just going to want some thick and rounded PTFE skates. I wouldn't really recommend mice with a 4-corner skate design on this pad unless they have super well-rounded edges. So that's what I think about skates. In terms of the speed, the Cerapad KIN is control focused, but that is control focused for a hard pad. This is still going to play fast for a lot of people. You might even have to lower your sense, but this is definitely significantly more controlled in terms of dynamic friction than the Skypad 3.0, while it still has the low initial friction that people are used to with hard pads. As you can see, the speed of the Skypad 3.0 is just faster. There is a lighter glide sensation. That is something I will get into as well, because the Cerapad KIN originally, out of the box, it is a very controlled feeling glide, but it takes a few days for the surface to loosen up, I guess. The Skypad 3.0 though is just going to play faster. So if you're looking for a hard pad that is really the best in terms of smoothness and speed, I would say go for the Skypad 3.0, because it's just going to offer that really consistent, very fast glide across the board. So I feel like it is something that will vary person to person and game to game, but if you're somebody who has found most hard pads to just be too fast, the Cerapad might be something that is a good option. It's still, don't get me wrong, you can still make fast motions extremely easy. It's not like there is a lot of friction on this surface, but if you tightly grip your mouse, put a good bit of pressure, you can notice your skates kind of lock into the coating of the pad, and motions are just very, very stable and controlled for a hard pad, something that I don't really experience with the Skypad, but I also do like the overall lightness of the Skypad's glide and the slightly lower initial experience, if any of that makes sense. That's just some mousepad ramblings. At the end of the day, this is a controlled hard pad. It's more than big enough. Quality-wise, I really don't have any concerns. There is one thing, I'm not sure if you can notice it on camera, I'll take a picture, but there is a bit of the coating that seems to have chipped off in the bottom left. I do imagine this is due to setting my phone down and setting my headphones down on the mouse pad, and not the I don't even know what it would be, because there's no issues with that in the mousing area, but I figured I should mention it because when I look down at my pad, I do see it. Even that when I do swipe my mouse over the area, I don't notice any differences, but you don't want the coating chipping away. But yeah, the only other quality thing is like whether or not it is stuck to my desk, and as you can see it clearly, as I can get it to move if I put like an obscene amount of pressure, but when I am resting my wrist and forearm on the pad, I have no issues. No issues with it being especially thick and having my wrist sink into the pad, causing issues with horizontal motions. And the edges just feel nice. All around, it's a solid pad, quality and experience wise, way better than any other hard pad I've tried in terms of like little specks of dust and hair not affecting the glide. It was so much more low maintenance than the original Cerapad. And all around, a pad that was totally usable in Fortnite. It did not feel too fast. I'm not going to say it's something that I would like to main, but it is definitely mainable, especially with mice above 60 grams. Like small mice below 60 grams, it gets to a point where I do feel like any hard surface with low initial friction is just going to be a bit too fast. Or not too fast, but at least less desirable to me personally than the same mouse on a controlled pad like an Artisan Zero or a Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro. But yeah, that's going to be about all for my review of the Cerapad KIN. Definitely one of my favorite hard pads. Still going to hold off on giving it the seal of approval. And all that comes down to is the fact that I still don't feel like I personally aim better with this type of surface than a standard cloth or hybrid pad, and I'm not going to be coming back to it personally, but this is my recommendation for a controlled hard pad. Definitely a step up in terms of control compared to the original Cerapad, and just way better in terms of quality. But if you are looking for a speed oriented hard pad, then definitely go with the Skypad 3.0. But yeah, the Cerapad KIN, lots of improvements. Solid product overall. I appreciate them sending it out. I've been testing it for a while, and I might be doing a giveaway. So that's going to be all. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and peace.